Hi. So when you do things right, people don't think you've done anything at all. This might sound profound, but it's actually just a quote from the TV show Futurama. But it's a quote I kept coming back to when I started my project, because it could actually be a way of thinking of why people don't always take their medications as well as they should. Bear with me. Say you have a chronic condition. In this case, it's cardiovascular disease. You might not actually have any symptoms. You went to the doctor one day and they told you you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, and they've prescribed a drug to you that you need to take every single day for the rest of your life just to reduce your risk of having a future heart attack or stroke. Logically, you know cardiovascular disease is serious. You might even be aware that it is the leading cause of global mortality. And yet, that doesn't mean it's any easier to put this into practice. Maybe you have side effects, or you're human, you just forget. Or possibly you have a difficult regimen that's hard to keep on top of, or other conditions that you're trying to manage at the same time and it's just all too much. Or it could just be that cognitive dissonance where you think, well, I feel okay. Maybe the drugs are doing things right, but you're just not aware that they're doing anything at all. And this is a problem because the World Health Organization thinks that adherence to chronic condition management is only 50%. And Scotland has the highest mortality from cardiovascular disease in all of the UK. This isn't to say that if those people took their medications properly that they could prevent themselves from having adverse effects from cardiovascular disease, but it does mean that if we knew a bit more and we could target this gap in treatment, then maybe we could help to reduce cardiovascular disease burden at a population level. So you might be on board with all of that, but you're probably asking yourselves right now why my slide is taken up by a giant picture of computer code. And that's because for my project, I want to answer this question, the question of risk factors that contribute to non-adherence in cardiovascular disease, by using big data. I'm using the prescribing information system, which is a big database of all NHS prescribed drugs that are dispensed in pharmacies in Scotland. And I'm using this to calculate adherence by using information such as the drug, the dosage information, and the quantity prescribed to work out how long a prescription would last if everyone had taken their medications as perfectly. In this way, I can work out when that would run out and when the next one ought to be collected if it had all been taken, and using these gaps in treatment to identify levels of non-adherence. I can then compare this across different subgroups. For example, people from different age groups or in different treatments, say for different specific drugs or different comorbidities. And I can work out areas where we could target interventions to improve adherence in the future. In this way, I'm hoping that I can use big data to improve cardiovascular disease management and maybe even in the future, mend a few hearts. Thanks.